Welcome to Shelor Select. The whole system will be ready in a few minutes. Take your seat and enjoy.
All right. What it is, what it ain't. And I am back. Another episode, Solo Dolo, coming at you. Just want to come back and check up on you guys. On all of you people. Sorry, I don't know why I just sang right there. Just had a little glass of that Fit Fine wine. It got me feeling a little loose. Thought it'd be funny. So, you might hear some more singing throughout here. Let's see, what do we want to start with tonight? You know, it's always hard doing these things. It's not hard doing these things solo dolo, but just to keep the conversation with myself going, trying to inform people what's been going on with me, what's been going on in the world. Which really, it's not like that makes it sound like this is a news broadcast, but it's definitely not, especially for those who've been listening in. But anyway, let's see here. Big news. What's been going on? Lakers suck. In case you didn't know. Yeah, they lost to the Suns. Was it last night? I don't even fucking know. But they lost. LeBron left one game, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Had to go think about his feelings, I guess. I don't know. But, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, he was injured all pretty much the whole year. Anthony Davis is hurt now. I mean, you know, I don't even know who else they have on their team, really. Besides, if them two ain't playing, who's going to help them out? So they just had a terrible season. They had to do the playing game just to get into the playoffs. So, I don't know. I liked him better last year, obviously, especially when they had Dwight Howard. I mean, seems like he was actually playing some ball as opposed to them. They basically rebuilt the team. That's what I think. And it just didn't work out. So, and I'm a LeBron guy. I'm not shitting on LeBron by any means, but I like him, and he made some stupid comment about how he was going to be playing Bugs and Lola Bunny this summer now. Which is like, yeah, obviously, dude, yeah, you're making a movie, everyone knows, but you just lost. So, I don't know. I don't want to shit on him, but because I do like him as a player, and he's done a lot of good things for the game, but I don't know, some of the stuff he's saying right there just kind of gets at me. So, but what are you going to do? So, anyway, I always feel like when I do these things that I want to, when I start talking, play whatever song I'm currently listening to, and just instead of doing my normal opening, just come in with something. Well, not something, but whatever song it is that I've been listening to on repeat all week. And you're probably like, well, Chris, what song have you been listening to all week? And I have a terrible habit of this. Does anyone else have this habit? That if I love a song or really get into any song, that's all I want to play. Like, literally, I'll sit there and just keep it on repeat, in my earphones, at work, on my computer. It's just everywhere I'm going, I'm listening to it. Then 4 days later, I'm on to something else. And it's not that I don't keep listening to it until, I feel like I hate it. I'm done with it. But I'll come back to it and just put it in like my all-time favorites playlist, I guess you could say. Well, you could say because that's what I do. I'm trying to catch more words when I say random stuff like that. So, yes. So if you have that habit, let me know. So, but this week, as I was saying, it's called. I've been playing it at the gym. Well, there's two songs now. First one is hey guys, Rocky's here. In case y'all were wondering what that noise was. The first song is called Julia by Jungle, which is really random how I came across of it, and that might be another time when I explain that. And the other one is it's Into the Mystic, and it's not the original version by Van Morrison. Let me Google. I'm Googling stuff right now. Not the original version by Van Morrison, but the version by Zach Brown Band, where they combined, I think, Colder Weather, Then they go into into the Mystic. Then there's another song they lead out with, and they played it live one night. And I randomly stumbled across of it. I'm going down a YouTube rabbit hole. I'm gonna take a swig here. YouTube rabbit hole of you see you're listening to a song on YouTube and you're looking on your playlist or whatever it's called, suggested videos, and you should listen to this now, or you should watch this one. So then you just test it out, see see how it feels. We're just gonna play around. Just check it out. All right, okay, 30 seconds. Good. No, maybe. Yep. Good. Okay. We're in there. So then it just becomes something you randomly stumbled upon, and you're like, oh, this is the best world ever. So I don't know. It's good stuff when you find little hidden gems like that. Then it's really cool when you can share them, I guess you could say, to other friends who don't know about it yet, and you just go ahead and you play it when all your people get in the car or they're at your house or whatever. You're like, hey, you heard this song? Or even at the gym. It's like, oh, yeah. Then everyone's like, oh, this is fire, bro. Like, this is hot. I remember I used to date this girl, and this was a long time ago. I don't even know if I should be talking about this. I want to talk about it. Well, it's not really anything bad or anything. Anyway, I guess maybe that's where I picked it up. That was from her. Is that she would, always be looking for new music, and she had some website she would go on, and that way she could burn the CD. But she probably would. I guess we were putting on iPods in, like first generation or second generation, like the whole ones with the scrolly wheel, and those things were badass. I think I used to have one too. I wish I still did. And then you were like, oh man, I can hold like 5,000 songs, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, but she would always hit me with like new songs she found, and like some of them I still listen to today. And it's always, a good feeling when you got that, I don't know, a music thing going on. Some people say music is a drug, and, I don't know if I would ultimately say music is a drug, but you feel good sometimes when a certain song that you love comes on. It completely will change your mood. And I guess a lot like a substance or alcohol or something of that nature. So it's kind of weird how. So I guess you could say it is a drug, because you put on your sweet little jam and all of a sudden you're just flowing. You're just getting it. These winter dogs who are growling and eating up this blanket wouldn't know, but. So anyway, I guess that's where I picked that. I don't do it a lot, but it's just randomly when I'm on YouTube or when I find a new song, I type it in, and I'm just kind of looking down the suggested videos, like I said earlier, and then it just goes crazy from there. So I don't really know. I'm sorry I got on that tangent. This is usually how my brain works. If any of you don't know by now, is that I just start talking, and then something will pop up, and I move on to something else, and then I forget what I was talking about earlier. So if you ain't caught up on that yet, there you go. You are welcome. So, what were we talking about before? Sports. Lakers suck. I really don't. The Nets are going to win, I guess. They have a super team: Harden, Irving, Durant. What do you want? This has been the norm for basketball in the past since, I guess, when the Celtics did it, and they got Rondo, Paul Pierce, and Garnett. So they started this trend, and it just kept going from there. So it's not even a big man's game anymore. It's just basically there's no positions, I feel like. It's just play some defense, be able to shoot the ball, you're good. Who cares about rebounds? Just run down the court, find an open man, shoot a three. Crossover dribble. So that's odd. Sorry, I had to get a swig of drink there. I didn't mean to swallow that in the microphone if I did. But so, I guess they'll win, but my 2 cents, I really like to see the Bucks do it. I like those small market teams, kind of root for the underdog. Get my man Giannis Antetokounmpo. Get him a ring. He's a young dude. He's coming up. He's gonna be. He is one of the superstars in the NBA. But because the Nets are gonna win now. It's almost golden. It's a golden ticket for them to win. Because who can beat them, really? And honestly, I think the Bucks have the best chance. But in the West, I thought the Lakers would come about and go crazy and beat them. But now, I don't see it happening, man. I don't see it happening at all. So there's your my prediction. The Nets, if they don't win, Milwaukee Bucks are going to go ham and hopefully win too. Well, not win too because they can't. Sorry. Don't know. I'm kind of speaking like an idiot, obviously. Other big news: Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, retired. Well, he announced his retirement. He's not retired, so he's gonna do a victory lap. I guess you could say. Gonna do a victory lap, and he'll retire in 2022, as I think is what it is. So he'll do one more season. Legends are retiring. It's odd. It's kind of weird to seeing, Roy Williams, he just retired. Now it's Coach K. All these blue blood schools are getting, we're all getting older, but yeah, they're retiring. So it's going to be some new blood coming in. So I wonder if it's just going to completely change the whole aspect of college basketball. You won't see these, always have these blue blood schools anymore. When these new reigns come over, will you see schools like, who did Tech's coach come from? University of Maryland, Baltimore College? Oh, you got your Google box. Why don't you check it? University of Baltimore, Maryland. I think they're called the Retrievers. I know that, and that's where Virginia Tech's, UMBC. Okay, University of Maryland, Baltimore College. So that's where Tech's coach came from. So I wonder if you're going to start seeing these smaller schools start coming up, since we're seeing the phase out of the legends, I guess you could say. Roy's gone, Coach K's gone. I'm sure Boeheim from Syracuse, he's getting up there in age. Bobby Knight, obviously, he's gone. We're going to see these guys, just move on. So, and I said earlier, well, Coach K's 80, he might as well retire. But actually he is 74 according to Google that I'm looking at right now. But, he's 74, he's put in 40. How many years did he coach for Duke? Does it say? 13. He was 1,097 and 302. Not a bad record. 1980 to present. So, what is that, 30? For those who were doing math? No, it's 40. So, yeah, that's 41 or 42 years. So, and there was a time in my life that I actually wanted to work in sports. And, maybe I shouldn't say wanted, but there's a part that I wanted to work in sports growing up, I guess. Or when I was going through college and I did my internships down for Radford Athletics. But that's neither here nor there. But you start to find out, my point is that how many hours head coaches and strength coaches and directors, how many hours they actually put into the sports world. And it's not a regular 9-to-5 job. And I think that's what started to steer me away from that, was because it's, they're working 16-hour plus days. Even when they go home and they're away from their families, they're either recruiting, watching video, preparing for the next. It's hard to. How do you find other time in for yourself and your family? Which it can. I'm not saying it can be done. It can't be done, but I know it can be done. Obviously, a lot of these guys have proved it, but it's just you got to have that passion, I guess, and just a passion for the game and passion for that type of work. And maybe that just I've never really found that passion for anything that I could say that I truly, truly love. But they do it, and hands to them. Good on them. Just and especially the ones who come out, like Coach K, who's going to be retiring, and he's going to be considered all-time legend, probably the best coach at Duke, and one of the best coaches overall for college basketball. Plus, he has a gold medal. He coached the Olympics. So how can you fault him for that? People who cheer for UNC, it's a rivalry, but you still got to give them the standing ovation. I don't know where I'm going with that. You still gotta respect it. You still gotta respect it, I guess is what I was trying to say. Try to make stuff flow tonight. I guess I'm rambling a little bit. But that's par for the course for me. Let's see. What else we got going on? Lakers suck. Coach K retired. John Shire is going to be taking over for him, is what the word on the street is. John Shire. Oh, God, I spelled that. Butchered that. John Shire Duke. There we go. I think he'll be taking over for him. He was... I know he played in 2010. He was on one of the national championship teams. I think he was Shire. John Shire. Spelled his really completely wrong. He just came up there and I looked how bad I butchered it. But yeah. He's going to be taking over. Where's he? What's his record been? What's he been doing lately? Has he been coaching anywhere else? John Shire's and... Former player has associate head coach of the Duke Devils. Okay, so he's been associate head coach of the Devils. Duke Blue Devils. So good on him. He'll take over, hopefully. Maybe one day we'll see him as a legend. I don't know if it'll be 40 years from now. I'll be fucking old, but we'll see. But I do remember watching him play a couple games. 2010, yeah. He was a shooter. I remember that. Called him Shooter McGavin. Shooter Share. Stupid. All right. Didn't mean to say that. Well, I didn't mean to say that, but I was just trying to make a stupid joke. He's taking over, so we'll see. Good on him. Hope he does well. Let's see what else we got on Sports World. I think it came out that... Sorry, folks, if all you're listening to me is just talk about sports tonight, it's all I had on the brain. I don't know why. I guess it's all I've been keeping up with lately. Who was the horse who won the Kentucky Derby? Of this year? Medina Spirit. Okay, so let me tell you this. Just heard about this. Medina Spirit. Steroids. Okay. So this is where I was going with this. This is from 3 days ago on ESPN.com. Okay, Medina Spirit second Kentucky Derby post-race drug test also positive for steroid. Lawyers say. So the horse who won a Kentucky Derby apparently was taken, was shooting some steroids in him, going straight old school style. Let's see what we have on here. From the presence of the steroid, man, I'm going to butcher this word. Let me copy and paste this. I don't really want to say it because I don't want people making fun of me, but what do you do? Where was I going? Kentucky Derby winner Medina Spirit is facing disqualification after testing on a second post-race sample confirmed the presence of the steroid beta methazone. Represent the horse. Lawyers who represent the horse owner and trainer Bob Baffert said. The horse that finished second at Derby is now poised to be declared the winner. Oh, so he's going to get his win taken away. Bruce Everett told the New York Times a text message that the UC Davis lab didn't test for other compounds which could prove the trace positive came from an inadvertent and material inconsequential contamination sourced from, say those fucking words, sourced from a topical ointment used to treat Medina Spirit for a skin lesion on his hip. So, just randomly, he had to put something on his hip for a lesion. Yeah, the lesions where you were putting steroids in. I lost my shoe. I guess a dog took it. Gosh, read this article. Type in Medina Spirit on ESPN.com. Or you don't even type it on ESPN.com, just Google it. But it says, which can prove that the trace positive came from an inadvertent and materially inconsequential contamination. Okay, maybe it's just me tonight. I'm having trouble with some words. Bruce told the New York Times of Kentucky horse racing. Oh, I don't want to read all this and bore y'all. So apparently, there's steroids in horse racing. In case you didn't know. Oh, I was looking for something. There it is. Found it. Okay. So it looks like he's going to get his win taken away. So, I mean, that's one thing I think I've talked about on here before is you take away wins. I mean, they still won the game even though they cheated. But what can you do? Wiener dogs are fighting. So, man, just, steroids are just everywhere. I mean, there's big money in sports, obviously. Approximately $155.4 million was bet on the Kentucky Derby. An estimated $11 million, $12 million was bet on Medina Spirit based on his odds to win, 12 to 1. An estimated $3 to $4 million was staked on Mandaloon, who went off at 26 to 1. Was Mandaloon the 26 or the second place horse? Probably. Well, that sucks. I mean, for him, but it's just the things I've talked about before. Is just keep taking steroids, you're going to get busted eventually. And one night at the gym, speaking of steroids, some people and I were talking about, would you ever do it? Especially I forgot how we got on this conversation, but about how baseball, it was big with McGuire, Sosa, Brady Anderson, and all them, and how the sport took off with them because of the home run race, and who was going to beat Hank Aaron. But would you do it? I mean, I don't want to say I'm on the fence because coming from my past and coming from my environment and life experiences, I'm almost on the verge of saying yes, just because you take, nobody really knew about. I wonder if I could figure it out. I mean, Brady Anderson used to play baseball for the Baltimore Orioles. Brady Anderson before steroids. I wonder if that would work. I don't know. But anyway, you saw him coming up in the game, but he was like almost a nobody, and then he's got onto the steroids, and then there they go. They're getting hyped up now. Then the what was I going? Yeah. Hi. Y'all calm down. Then he got on the steroids, and then all of a sudden his numbers started taking off, and he became a big name for the Baltimore Orioles. And his numbers just skyrocketed, and plus he started getting bigger contracts. So how do you say no to that? How do you say no? I'm not going to do that, especially when you know what can come from it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he ever broke any records, obviously, compared to Sosa and McGuire, but still, he had a huge. I wonder what his contract was. Let me type that in. Brady Anderson contract. What was his contract? So $31 million. So this is from the New York Times. This week he will sign. When was this? This was 1997. Okay, so that's about right, because I do remember being in 7th grade and we kept talking about Monk McGuire and stuff. So anyway, he'll sign a 5-year, $31 million contract, includes $6 million in deferred money, a free agent. Yeah, I mean, how do you say no to that? Getting famous, getting all the attention. You're starting to break records. You become a nobody to somebody in just a matter of weeks if you just do everything correctly. It's hard to say no. Would I do it? I think we've talked about it before. It'd be interesting to try out as long as I had I'd like to do it with a team of doctors and like, hey, you should do this much. You should do this. And just give it a cycle and just see, for 6 weeks and see what happens in 6 weeks. As long as my forehead doesn't grow, nothing else. But why not? You see a lot of different stuff on it that could be a lot of health issues that come up in the future, but that might be just for prolonged use. Who knows? Hold on. How do you get another drink there? I don't know. It's interesting. A lot of prolonged use. And hopefully it wouldn't mess with your organs and say anything. But, speaking of which. But anyway, the other argument is. Before I move on. The other argument is, yeah, you shouldn't do it because it's not natural. Well, yeah, obviously. But. And it's not really you. It's, sports or it's enhancements. But where do you draw the line in that? I mean, enhancements are coming from every which way now. I was listening. Obviously, y'all know I was listening to Joe Rogan. He was talking about people who are getting ab implants, and which I have no idea how that works, but people get those. They get butt implants. I've heard of people getting calf implants, so that's not natural. But there's no line drawn. But am I saying there's anything wrong with it? You're only hurting yourself. I mean, who cares? It's your body. It's your world. You should be able to do what you want, I guess. But I don't think if you're hurting yourself and others, you probably obviously shouldn't do it. But maybe that's not a great example, and maybe I don't know where I was going with that. But well, I do know where I was going with that. But I'm trying to keep a middle ground here. I don't want to take too much of one side or the other. But yeah, I think some of this point, yeah, I would try it out. 6 weeks, why not? There's if you're going to get busted, you're going to get busted. If you don't want to get busted, don't do it. But eventually, it'll come back. It might not come back and haunt you. Who knows? But there's a lot of pros and cons to it, and I don't think there's anything that can offensively be said that yes and no. So, but where I was going with that was that I've been watching on A&E a bunch of the WW wrestling, pro wrestling documentaries. So I've watched Stone Cold, Ultimate Warrior, and Macho Man. I think there's a few others. And what I was going with that is that it seems like, now I'm not saying all of them, but I know for two of them, that, they all, and that's part of the game and professional wrestling or wrestling entertainment, whatever you want to call it, that you have to look good all the time. And then there was a point in, for example, Macho Man, he got towards the end of his career, but he was juicing. A lot of people he knew was, watching him juice or helping him juice. And then all of a sudden, the way he went out in life was that he was driving his Jeep down the road in Florida. I think most of them live in Tampa Bay. And, he told his girl at the time, or his wife, I can't exactly remember, that he's like, hey, I don't feel good. Then all of a sudden, his Jeep just ran off the road and smacked into a tree, and that's how he died in a car accident. But it sounds like he had a heart attack. But before that, there was, spoiler alert for those who, I guess I should have announced that earlier, if you don't plan on watching it. But yeah, I don't know if, it seemed like it was the pills and the steroids, and he started messing with his mind, started messing with other aspects of his body. Could be part of the reason why that happened. Do I know that for sure? I don't know, but that's just my guess, because it seems like more times than none when you're watching these documentaries, and it seems like the far conclusion was that all that pills, steroids, alcohol, all that started to come up. It came back to haunt you. Especially the one with Ric Flair on ESPN 30 for 30. The dude, he just had a great life. He just wanted to party all the time. But you can see now is that he looks in rough shape. He still tries to be Ric Flair, and he still tries to hang on to his image, but you can just tell. But Father Time's undefeated. Plus, when you're probably doing a lot of things you shouldn't be doing. So maybe I'll just get off that subject. But beta methasone. It can treat inflammation and many other medical problems. Okay, so that was a steroid Medina Spirit was taking. So, anyway, watching those documentaries, it's pretty sad, though. Again, like how I was talking earlier about, Coach K and, these high-level coaches, and not even just head coaches, but I'm sure the whole staff, and just the time they take away from their family with the traveling and games, and the wrestlers were talking about it, too, is that they hardly, they barely knew their kids, and their kids barely knew them as their dad. So, and it was kind of, after they retire, they kind of see what happens and feel like, oh, I need to change my ways, and I need to, hopefully now that I'm so healthy, I can kind of regain some of this or build this relationship back with my family. So you just got to love it. You got to have the passion for it. You got to love for what you do, and like everything else, there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be good times and bad times, but ultimately, I guess it comes down to how much are you willing to put into it to get to where you want to be. So, what the wrestling documentary, the Ultimate Warrior, I mean, his was kind of the same road. He came up basically from nothing. He wanted to be a bodybuilder, then somehow found his way into wrestling, and he took it as far as he could go, and he was on a juice, and then somewhere down the road, everyone knew he had to stop taking it because I think they said in the early 90s or mid 90s is when steroids started getting federally banned. And you could they interviewed another person, and they were talking about how they said you could just tell the difference in his bodies, which you can, about how Ultimate Warrior before steroids, Ultimate Warrior after steroids. So, and then all of a sudden, I think he died of a heart attack as well. When he left, he was leaving his hotel room, and he told his wife almost the same things, like, "Hey, I don't feel good," and he literally collapsed as they walked out of his hotel room. I think they were on his way to go to a signing or something along those lines. But he had a wild documentary too. And I don't want this all to be about wrestling and sports, but I guess this is where we've been going for the last minutes or two. So for those who are still listening, so but that was wild. That's wild. It's interesting. Because you don't think about it when you're young. You're just like, they're living a dream. They're living the best lives. They're the coolest. Then all of a sudden, we get older and we start to resonate. Oh, this is really what's been happening. Their life wasn't as what we thought it was supposed to be. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind the curtains. The same thing with the Last Dance documentary. I always thought the Bulls were the Bulls and they were just badass, but there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes too. Another good sports documentary if you want to watch one. And before I switch gears here, hopefully I can find this. I read the book Jose Canseco. I forgot how long ago I read this book. Not this, but his book. Let's see. But during the whole steroids scandal of that era, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's going to take forever. I was trying to look there's a quote in that book, Jose Canseco book. That dude was on Rough and Rowdy probably a few months back. This has probably been December, January, February, somewhere around through there. This Juiced, that's what his book was. I'm an idiot. Okay, so his book Juiced, there's a famous quote that I'm looking for, and I'll keep talking here. He was one of those guys you could just tell Father Time just took his time on him. And he still looked big in his arms, but he had this, I don't want to say his body looked disproportionate, but it just looked different. And, and all of a sudden it looks like, during the fight, obviously he lost. And it was almost he took a payday is what it seemed like. Because, the hit he took seemed real small. And I forgot, but it came out the next day. Dave Portnoy put on his Instagram, or they put it on Barstool Sports, about how much that dude made. And it was ridiculous. Like millions of dollars for 20 seconds of work. But again, I don't know what if he's broke or went crazy with his money and his life, but he made an easy couple million just doing that, which is, if he never did steroids, where he would have been. I mean, that's the reason he was part of baseball, and that's how he got his name. And, I feel like I'm just all pro steroids right now, which, I guess if it's done right, it can be. Here we go. This is what the quote I was looking for. If it's done right. So he put in, I forgot which chapter it was, that he put, if you're really interested in finding out about a city's pro athletes, go straight to where they hang out. Ellipses, ... strip clubs. Oh, okay, well, I misquoted myself. He actually didn't say that. This is from Zeph Boro from ESPN, the magazine, that said that. That's pretty true. I mean, how often do you see movies and TV shows and read about them? They're all having some wild, crazy lives. I mean, look at Magic Johnson. I mean, I do remember when it came out that he was HIV positive, and that what year was that? I was little. I know that. When did y'all get tired of me googling stuff while I'm just thinking out loud? When did Magic Johnson announce? I'm going to say 1999. I'm going to say 97. No, 98. Announce HIV. Oh, 91. Way off base. Sportscasting.com. 1991, Johnson dropped a bombshell in the NBA announcing his HIV diagnosis. Magic Johnson has survived nearly 30 years with HIV. There's a good Family Guy episode that they talk about this, and he's taking money and he liquefies it into a blender and just pumps it into his veins, and that's why he's surviving. But anyway, I don't know where I was going at that point. I think I was just trying to say I do remember hearing about that, and I didn't know what it was, but it was scary for a lot of people, and they didn't know how to handle it. But I was just kind of like, I don't know, I don't get it. Whatever. Why can't he play ball? But yeah, I mean, he was, he's one of those guys doing a lot of. Hey, shut up. He's doing a lot of shady stuff, and it wasn't shady stuff. He was just living that rock star party life, and he still came out. He's doing okay, I guess. I mean, he's he owns the Dodgers and the Lakers, and he's part owner or whatever he is, and yeah, he's still living. Can't say he's doing okay. I mean, you don't know. Still, it's one of those things I said earlier. We're seeing what the media wants us to see, but I'm not seeing the true Magic Johnson, like how he feels when he goes back to his house at night. So I don't know, but yeah, I do remember all of that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. That Broke is a good documentary about how athletes lost all their money through bad agents, bad contracts, bad investments they've signed. So anyway, I've been talking a while here. Sorry, this was all about sports this episode, but this is what's been going on lately. I guess mainly my main focus the last couple of weeks since I did this. Last thing, I'm recording this Saturday night. Tomorrow night, Sunday, for whatever reason that is, it's going to be the Floyd Mayweather fight and Logan Paul. Which, why are they doing it on a Sunday? I don't really know too many fights that go on or big pay-per-view fights that go on a Sunday, but they're doing it. They're having it. Am I going to watch it? Not decided. I looked it up. It's 50 bones. Can't decide if I want to pay that or not, but I might. But like my pick, Floyd Mayweather. Calling it here. Dude's just untouchable. One of the great. He's probably one of the greatest of all time. I mean, you can't touch him. I forgot. You can't. Has he ever been knocked out, or he's been touched a couple times? Maybe that's where I'm trying to remember. Before we get off here, I might as well Google one more thing. Is Mayweather? Has he ever lost? Floyd Mayweather is an undefeated 49-0, but the boxing champion has been beaten before almost 20 years ago. So his professional boxing. He's never lost. Has been, so I'm sure he's been hit. I remember when he fought Conor McGregor, but that was kind of a weird fight, just because you got a guy with MMA than a boxing guy. But been a lot of build up. He said the other day that he's already won or made $30 million just for the build up of this fight. That's wild to me. Making $30 million is promoting, doing stuff. And, Logan Paul stole his hat the other day. I wonder if that was kind of for show. And they're just – you always wonder what's going on behind the scenes, as I've been saying here for the past however long I've been talking. So, yeah. Let me see if I got any ad reads. No, I don't have any. That was quick. So, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Mayweather's going to win. You heard it here. I would say first, but I don't know when this episode will probably be out. So, we'll see. Then maybe next time when I do this solo broadcast, we'll talk about it then. So, again, that's all I got. Thank y'all again for watching and listening. Any feedback, any reviews, anything you want to send my way, questions I can hit up later on another podcast, throw them at me and all that good stuff. So enjoy yourself, enjoy your nights. Wiener dogs are saying good night too. I hear them barking. So that's all we got. Bye, everybody.
Peace.